¿Qué pasa, mi raza? If you're tuned in, watching, or listening, you're now tuned in with I Don't Know That's Perfect. I am your host. I am Mario from the South Side, and it has been a while since we've done anything, since I've done anything, because at this point, I'm a one-trick pony. But hey, we're still here, we're still kicking, we're still pushing, so don't give up. I'm trying not to give up, and we're still here, and thankfully, with the graces of God,
we ain't gonna let him give up, man.
Yeah. So if y'all don't already know at this point, like I'm fortunate enough to have the opportunities of Dawa, my good friend ever, that I'm fucking proud to see where he's come. So how far he's come, and obviously Shaka and like the whole organization that's been providing opportunities like this for us to come recording at the last minute. So, but
yeah, super shout out to Shaka.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out everything that Shaka's been doing, Dawa's been doing ever. Like, if y'all have been keeping up with everything they've been doing it, man, they just been killing it nonstop, back to back to back to back for the city. Like, I don't know how more Austin you can get with that. So, check them out. Look them up on Instagram. Give them a follow, like, support, whatever you can in a new way or format. It goes a long way. But the reason we're here today is because I was on the verge of stopping. I was on the verge of quitting, but I had to meet with somebody. Because sometimes, you know, you have that one person where you have to, like, reach out and you kind of want some guidance and some, like, mentorship or, like, some advice. But sometimes that comes in the form of, let's go catch up and have a bleezy and have a few drinks. And with this person, that kind of always seems to be, like, the type of relationship we've always had. Always a shoulder to lean on, the helping word that always helps you get through it. Take whatever bad situation you're in and turn it into a motivational moment. The person I'm talking about is an Austin OG, Southside legend, 4-5 resident from ATX to Mexico. Live from 78745 zone, Keith Corona.
Yup.
What's up, primo? ¿Cómo estás?
Chingón, primo, ¿tú?
Igual. Dándole pase a pase.
No, man, you got to keep going, man. Quit. Nah, man. You can't get out this down talking, man, and shit. You got to stay motivated, man. Stay on it. You know what I'm saying? Figure out a way. There's always, I say everything's like chess, bro. There's always one move. As impossible as it looks to you or whatever, you're just one move away from being where you want to be the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if you started something, either go all the way through with it, you know what I'm saying? Or figure out the next chapter that goes off of that, you know what I'm saying, and that's somewhere in that realm.
And I think that's kind of temporarily where I'm currently at, where I'm like just kind of like in hibernation mode, trying to figure out my next plot and trying to figure out which direction to go. Because at this point, like if anybody's been following or keeping up with us for like the last 2-3 years that we've been doing this, it has obviously grown the same way that we have, and the content has, and the city has grown. So we no longer do the whole when you started with us a shot every 30 minutes, getting drunk to the end of the episode. It's kind of evolved into more of a dialogue type of podcast, you know?
You got to keep evolving, man. You got to keep reinventing yourself, you know what I'm saying? Figure out new things. Study the field, you know what I'm saying? Study the field. Look at I don't like new music, but I somewhat study it, you know what I'm saying?
You really have a choice.
I'm not into it to jam it or stuff like that, but I have to look at it. I have to listen to the new sounds at least. I have to listen to the new drum patterns that they're doing. I have to stay on top of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and try to adapt my sound to that. Like, you can hear, you listen to my last 2 albums, it's like a total mix of different beats. You know what I'm saying? From boom baps to what sounded probably old school, like the Shorty Red, Young Jeezy era. You know what I'm saying? Like with songs like In the City with Cutter Music's early on stuff. If you go and you listen to like Coronando has a lot of new trap stuff that Cutter does, you know what I'm saying? But I've adapted it to me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sound like anybody else, so try to figure out how you can adapt to new ways, new things you can add to your podcast or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's always a way to figure out things, man, you know what I'm saying?
Very good point. But before we move on, many people probably have already seen you because you were one of the original guests that we had on the show back when we were recording my house and Dove at the couch, you know, but times have changed and we've both grown and you've moved on to bigger and better things, it seemed like, especially with music. But go ahead and give yourself a brief introduction to those that may or may not know who you are.
Well, my name is Keith Corona. A lot of people kind of know me by my slogan, live from 78745, you know what I'm saying? From South Austin. I started off as a kid making freestyle tapes with my friends, with my neighborhood friends and stuff like that. kept going, tape after tape after tape, freestyle. Like, we sucked at first when we first started. Like, we sucked, bro. Like, I mean, even worse than probably what you hear on Screw. You know what I'm saying? Like, even worse than the coming down and coming through. Like, we really sucked. Like, it's crazy that I still got recordings of that to be able to hear our involvement of when we were getting better with freestyles. But we started getting better around 20 tapes, 25 tapes. We started, like, including hooks into our stuff.
Perfecting your craft.
Yeah, we actually had better freestylers coming through my house now. We had a dude. This is something I missed on the last interview because I had to. I was kind of piecing everything down, breaking it down fast. But shout out to Just One, man. Just One, rest in peace. He was from Southridge. Just One was one of like the best freestylers that had came through my house to freestyle with us. He brought all of 04 with him. And when I say 04 at this time, this is Will Hustle. This is JK from Set for Life, because they were hanging around in 04 at that time in Southridge. They brought about over the Juan from the Criminals, Lil D from the Criminals. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, like Austin OGs.
These are Austin OGs. You know what I'm saying? So like they came through my house to freestyle, and this is all because of Jess. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Jess passed away. Rest in peace to him. But if it wasn't for him, I would probably met a lot of these cats. I became part of Set for Life later on. You know what I'm saying? I ran with Set for Life for a little minute. Set for Life kind of dwindled down a little bit. Doc didn't want to rap anymore. So I just kept moving on. You know what I'm saying? I put out a project with Starvin' Art in 2013. I met Arden. We were kind of moving in the same direction. We got together, put together a mixtape, released that, got a bunch of love from it. The kind of music I was doing, because I was doing nothing but real ass music. You know what I'm saying? Like, we weren't trying to talk about how cool we were. We weren't talking about how dope we rapped or nothing like that. We were talking about some real life shit, like struggling as an artist, trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? And especially coming from Austin, like where you saw so many starving artists, you know what I'm saying? I felt like that album was kind of like a blueprint, or like kind of like the pain, like the outcry of what a struggling rapper would kind of be. Yeah. And if you go listen to Established from 78745, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of what it is. Moved on to Live from 787. People started demanding my solo album, you know what I'm saying? Live from 78745 went pretty good. Got bored with it. Now people started pushing me to do Spanish, because I was already mixing the Spanish with the English a little bit.
Yeah, I think we briefly talked about it when you first came on the podcast back then.
I did the English album, and then I remember we recluded. There was this one song from mine and Arden's project. It was called Hands in the Sky. The song is just talking about, you know what I'm saying, struggling, like working a 9 to 5, having to hustle every now and then. But I had them follow me to my job. My job at the time, I was working in the kitchen downtown, you know what I'm saying? So I had them follow me to my job. And at my job, I had to do everything in the kitchen, from wash dishes to make the food, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, it'd be pretty dope. We included like a couple of statistics about Hispanics, you know what I'm saying? How they come over here and immigrants. Yeah. And this is what they got to work, because this is what my family worked in, was the kitchen life. This is why I was in the kitchen, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, a lot of people have families that come over here in their construction. They build houses, stuff like that. My family went the kitchen route, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So that was my family's officiate. So that's kind of what I was going behind. And I was like, all right, well, let's include some statistics about like how people come over here and they got to wash dishes, stuff like that. Yeah. Well, we put out the video. I had a homegirl who was going to the University of Texas at the time. She was in the Social Justice Action Council. And she's like, man, we have this poetry thing that we do. I want you to come by, and I think you're they're kind of like considering my work, my music, social work. Like, and I was like, what? I was like, they're like, yeah, because you're talking about your people and the stuff that they got to come over here and do. Facts. And I was like, if you listen to the song, I'm not even really talking about that in the song. We just included that in the video as another, you know, it's just another dynamic to throw in there. And man, I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying? So when we did that, and people started recognizing us for that, I went back with this conversation to my producers. All my producers started telling me, they were like, dude, you need to do something for your people. Dog, you need to do something for your people. People like Will Hustle, people like JK, they've always told me this. Yeah. And I don't know why I was just so like against trying to rap in Spanish, because I felt it was silly. I didn't know if it was that big in Mexico yet, you know what I'm saying? But Yeah, man. I mean, we saw how big it was in Mexico later on. You know what I'm saying? I was like, why not? We started doing stuff in Spanish, trying to work out the Spanish album, and you see what we done, man. We done pretty good, putting even better.
Yeah,
with the
you
Spanish
definitely
music
made it feel like you made a
music.
stamp in Mexico, and especially because I remember when we were first talking about it back when you came on the podcast last time. We were first talking about how you originally started meeting these younger kids who were basically training and showing them how to put music together, and then fast forward to now, they're all doing their own music. Yeah, what's it? Soundergarden, right? Is what the
all right. Sunderground. So my group, Sunderground, it was a group already. I joined late. You know what I'm saying? Like they just added me as like they were all youngsters. You know what I'm saying? So they just added me. They called me El Tío Kate. So like there's about 7 of them. About 3 of them were real serious. You know what I'm saying? Like the one who came over, LMSL was the one who first came over. Luis Manuel first started coming over, knocking on my door every day, trying to get me to rap, and I started giving them beats. And I was gonna give him the songs for his album, and then he got taken away. You know what I'm saying? If you go watch the first episode I did with you, we give the story on what happened to Luis Manuel.
When he got sent away.
When he got sent away. So Luis Manuel gets sent away, and we have to I have to kind of like restructure, like, what am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I started pushing the other guys. Let's do a whole like compilation album. We did a whole little compilation album. And we ended up getting like this opportunity that, I feel bad that I'm forgetting his name. Sean Blaylock. Mm-hmm. He was one of the Brody Boy DJs, you know what I'm saying? That ran with Die Slow. Sean Blaylock gave, the day I literally put the album out, that it hit DSPs, the Barrio Ausente went up, the Underground album. The day that it went up, I remember by nighttime, he was like, bro, I got this opportunity for you. He's like, I got somebody who's looking for some Spanish rap music. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, looking for some Spanish rap music. I'm like, all right, well, I thought I needed to send them the album. He's like, no, they already heard the album. They already kind of got the idea of what are the songs that they want from the album. I'm like, what the fuck? This is the day it dropped, bro. I swear to you. This is the day it dropped, because of course I'm promoting the shit out of it, right? So the next morning he's like, man, my girlfriend works with the music department of this movie that they're shooting. He's like, they want to include you, want to include one of your songs. He's like, they're going to email you. So they emailed us. Man, we got an opportunity to put one of our songs. They picked one of our songs that we didn't even promote it. You know what I'm saying? Called No Lo Debo a Nadie. It was me, Tres, and 17 on the song, and produced by Cutter. And unfortunately, the movie never picked up distribution. You know what I'm saying? But they paid us for the song.
Oh shit!
They sent us the contract. Even though you could do that, they sent us the contract digitally and everything. Like, I do a digital signature and all kinds of shit. I didn't even know you could do this kind of shit.
How was that for the kids being able to experience that? Because this is like fairly new, you know.
That's where I'm getting at. The dope part about it was like it didn't hit theaters, nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's cool, but the dope part, I guess, about it to me was like, bro, we wrote this shit in the living room in my house in my small town of Mexico, in the middle of nowhere in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like in rural Mexico. Yeah. And then just the thought of that, they were gonna put our shit in a movie theater. You know what I'm saying? It was gonna be shown in playing movie theaters. That shit was just kind of like something dope to look on, to reflect on. You know what I'm saying? But okay, so when they paid us, it's like it gives me an opportunity to show them, bro. Like, people in Mexico in a small town, it's hard for them to believe that they can actually be rappers and get paid from this shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Especially kids like them, who I had to fucking like drag to go record and stuff like that, because they just didn't believe that this shit was doable, something that was, achievable. I mean, maybe they thought it was doable, but they didn't think it was anything significant. You know what I'm saying? So boom, we get paid like about $1,000 for the song. You know what I'm saying? I split. Of course, I paid Cutter his part. 17 got his part, and Tres got his part. And it was real dope just being able to show them, like, look, bro, something we came over to work on for maybe 30 minutes to an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got paid fucking $250 for this shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, to them,
that goes a long way.
4,000, casi 5,000 pesos en México. Son chingo de dinero, güey. Pues un pinche albañil que se va a la construcción a lo mejor gana unos 1,500 a la semana. Es lo que te ganarías como en un mes.
Ya, ni $400.
4,000 pesos que nomás te fuera y te diera tus manos así. Es un chingo de dinero, güey, nomás. Pero está chingón poder enseñarles a ellos que sí se puede hacer, güey, que sí se puede ganar un poquito de dinero de esto.
Que opción en la música para que puedan
seguirle. Simón, que sigan queriendo hacerlo.
Entonces estaba para traducir el estilo como dices que los tenías que llevar a fuerza a grabar y hacer música. ¿Estaba difícil para ti para implicar eso que ya estás acostumbrado haciendo acá en América, en Estados Unidos, y luego enseñarlo de nuevo, pero en México, pues como en un pueblito?
Pues mira, es que ellos ya saben.
Ujú.
Ellos ya están familiarizados con grabarse. Ellos se grababan en casa, tenían computadora y todo eso. Todo eso ellos ya lo hacían. Yo no me acredito por nada de eso. Nomás que no tenían estructura. No
Ujú.
tenían así como
Una
que tienen un
organización.
coro, tienen un tema de la canción, de qué vamos a hablar desde el principio de la canción hasta que se acabe la canción. Ellos nomás casi freestyleaban, güey,
Sí.
en todo. Entonces, como que nomás era
Jugando.
canciones que nomás estaban por donde quiera, ¿me
Sí.
entiendes? Yo llegué a darles un poquito de más estructura, de decirles, mira, los versos deben de ser de estas cuantas barras, los coros de estas cuantas barras. Traten de tenerlos estructurados en la canción para que no nomás que entran de repente 4 barras de ti rapeando, de repente está un coro donde ni los instrumentos de la base o del instrumental se ponen chingones.
Sí.
Entonces, cómo leer la base y todo eso, traté de llegar a ayudarles. Como te digo, casi, lo único que fue es hacerlos creer, güey.
Ujú.
Eso fue nomás lo único que me causó un poquito de dolor de cabeza. Porque pues como ya todavía están jóvenes, como
Un poquito
que
tercos.
no creen o son tercos o que se quieren pasar en la mañana ahí acostados. Si yo tenía 3, si seguido tenía que ir a sacar a 3 de su casa desde la mañana, pero pues el morrillo le echa ganas, es bien cabrón con la letra, es más cabrón que
Sí.
yo. El 3 para mí es el mejor artista que tenemos nosotros por ahí en Michoacán que yo he escuchado un chingo de tiempo, pero lamentablemente pues él como que no se puede organizar, güey, para querer grabar.
Sí. ¿Y has notado la diferencia de lo que antes que llegaste hasta donde están ahorita?
¿Cómo?
La diferencia de cuando se están empezando a aplicar.
No,
y
pues
se pongan
sí, pues
serio.
ellos ven que ellos cuando ven esas oportunidades, pues obvio they get excited, you know what I'm saying? Como que se emocionan y quieren seguir
Yeah.
grabando, me dicen, vamos
Ahora sí
ver,
miran la visión.
aventar más, Simón.
No sé si había oportunidades o chances que pues a un día en el futuro que puedan empezar a hacer más conciertos. No sé si han hecho conciertos allá ya.
Hicimos uno, el año que llegué, el año que después que hicimos el podcast,
Sí.
hicimos lo que era un festival allí en mi pueblo, en Cuto. Y pues como es un pueblo chiquillo, güey, pues hay un chingo de gente. A shitload of people came out, dog. Like, this is after I told you that they were trying to get me to do an event and I didn't want to do the event. So finally, there's like this news informative Facebook page in my town that gets a lot of following. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so they started they wanted to do they wanted to do a festival, like a karaoke festival.
Okay.
And let people, because we got a lot of people that sing, you know what I'm saying, in my town. So toda la gente salió y teníamos como como una docena de artistas que se presentaron. Y luego nos presentamos nosotros como los raperos, los últimos. We told them to put us on last so that the old people that weren't going to like rap would already go home, you know what I'm saying? Because in Mexico, everybody goes home pretty early, you know what I'm saying? Like 9 o'clock, you hardly see anybody in the street. So I told them to put us after 9. And, man, bro, I can't lie, dog. That's like the biggest fucking crowd receivement I've ever felt, anywhere, bro.
Town.
Like, I think there was this one show I did with Franchise and Gary Clark that was kind of like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they got crunk during the song when they heard Hennessy and Horchata, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When they heard Breakfast Talks with Papa and some Hennessy and Horchata. White folks love that shit, you know what I'm saying? I think we were at the Scootian. The Scootian was full, bro. Yeah. And I was like, it was a Gary Clark. It was right after Gary came home after being signed and all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that shit was filled. And yeah, man, like, people scream when they introduced me, bro. Like, people screamed for us, man. So, but we haven't done like shows in the cities and stuff like that because it's hard to do shows over there, man. It's kind of hard, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and I know you've mentioned that there's been opportunities that kind of have risen, have been shown to you. I won't go too much into detail because I don't know how much you've spoken about it. But given the opportunity that you do have the chance to like go on a small 5-city tour or whatever in Mexico, is that something that you'd want to plan with them? Because I don't know, are they of age or are they still young kids?
They're of age, but The only ones, the one that I would probably take seriously with me is LMSF, the youngster, because he's relentless, bro. Like I don't have to be on him. You know what I'm saying? He's on me. He's telling me to do it. He's telling me let's go. He's telling me this is the next thing we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the way it was. Like I've never said this in another interview, but if it weren't for him, Barrio Center probably wouldn't even came out because I wasn't even in the mood to rap. He had to bring that out of me. You know what I'm saying? And hadn't we not made those first couple of songs for his album, I doubt I would have been able to lit the fire under the rest. They had to hear something.
Yeah.
For them to get crunk off of it. You know what I'm saying? And want to go at it 100%. That's why I didn't want to drink beer.
Just burping.
Burping like a
I had to pull out the Kawasaki's for the todos the tres caguamas. But I have a like tangent question. So over the years, I've known you for a good amount of years now at this point, and I've seen the history. Like I've been probably following your music before I met you, but I've always, well, I guess the question is more so, do you feel more comfortable making music whenever you're working with somebody next to you that's not directly like making music for them, but where y'all are creating music together and putting out stuff that like comes from the both of y'all, working with somebody else creatively versus working on your own solo project? And
like, okay, so basically like Barrio Center versus Coronando, like which did I like better or which did I enjoy better? Yeah, because
I've noticed that like over the years, like, you know, back then it was you and Arden.
You and Arden first.
And then you had homegirl, the one that was a singer rapper, I forgot her name, but she
Daniela.
was, yeah. And then I think after that's when you were kind of went solo and did that solo project. Yeah. And even then after that, I feel like you were still kind of hesitant on moving forward until you came across these kids in Mexico. And now like I feel like it fueled you to kind of go a little bit harder, because this is probably the hardest I've ever seen you go in all the times that I've ever known you, you know?
Well, it's 1 and 1. Like, I go through seasons. You know what I'm saying? Like, I go through a time where I get tired of writing so much on my own and hearing my own voice so much that I want somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me want to collaborate with somebody else because I get tired of hearing myself. But then there's also times when, like, let's say video time comes around, show time comes around, and I got to be on somebody else's ass. Tell them to come do work for me. You know what I'm saying? That's when I don't like it. And I'm like, man, fuck this. I just have like Coronando. Coronando, the whole album is just me. Yeah. I have one 8-bar verse from Tres on it. And that's it. And it's been so much easier to move and to move forward. Maybe Barrio Center, I loved it. I love working with other people. I love collaborating with people. I love hearing multiple voices, multiple talents. I love being able to DJ Khaled some shit and knowing that I can put together a song of 3 people where there isn't going to be a weak verse, where you can't pick which is your favorite verse of the 3 because all of us got the equal talent. You know what I'm saying? Or even if the song isn't about writing the best verse, I know how to make people's talents mesh well on the song and be like, nah, maybe he needs to step back on this song, or maybe I need to step back on this song. You know what I'm saying? And not really try to go as hard or whatever so that it can make a good flow of the song. Yeah. I love that, but at the same time, I don't like stressing over having to get people to do something. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? I don't like being the Master P trying to get all the No Limit soldiers in one room. But if people could just be like, okay, well, we could all just agree and be like, this is our goal. This is how we're going to move forward. This is what we're going to stick to. Cool. It would be great, but you can't get people to do that. You know what I'm saying? So again, I go through seasons. I go through my time where I want to help everybody. I want us to do this shit. Then I get like, fuck. And then I'm like, fuck, this next year, it's just been me. All of Coronando's just been me. I haven't had to wait on anybody. I had to depend on anybody. I just move forward on my own. I have to worry on somebody else's opinions and stuff like that. And it's just been smooth sailing, man. So I go through my seasons, man. I'm starting to get tired of hearing my voice all by myself again. So it makes me kind of want to, like, LMS just got out of drug rehab. I'm real excited to start working with him again. You know what I'm saying? Tres just got out of drug rehab. I know we're in the United States and y'all don't understand, but, man, we got a fucking meth epidemic going on in Mexico really bad. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of my friends, your cousins, your uncles, whether you like it or not, or whether you thought it was cool or not, or you thought it was acceptable or not, are on this shit. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully LMS came out a little bit better. Hopefully Tres came out a little bit better, but I'm putting a lot more of my money and my stock in the LMS because he's still young and he's still got that fire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Does it ever, like, get frustrating for you? having to deal with that, and not deal with it, but like being pushed to the limit where I feel like sometimes it gets a little complicated where you end up being on your ends with, as far as in a situation where somebody's having a drug issue of any sort?
The drug issue, not really, man, because everybody got their thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't come down harder on them because it's drugs, because it could be anything else. It could be laziness. You know what I'm saying? Like, people just be simply lazy and not want to do shit. They ain't got to have a drug addiction not to want to do it, you know what I'm saying, or to make a career out of themselves.
Yeah.
So my thing that's frustrating with me is just people not believing in themselves enough. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you having a talent and not wanting to actually put that out. You know what I'm saying? Like, not wanting to get it out. Like, I've always been the kind that I can't keep this shit inside. I can't keep this shit bottled up to me. I don't want to just listen to my own song inside my room. I want people to listen to it. I want people to judge it, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? I want people to say something about it. I want to get it out. And that's the kind of stuff that like with Daniela, Daniela wasn't really my artist. She wasn't somebody that I was trying to help put out. I was just trying to help her out because I believed in her, you know what I'm saying? And trying to
you saw
put her in front of people, you know what I'm saying? And let people see her more. And actually put that faith behind her to let people see that there was somebody also believing in her so that they would believe in her as well and believe in her more, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But again, man, you can't force people to want to do this, man. You know what I'm saying? I can understand. I hate this shit too. I hate this shit at times. I don't even want to do it. But we're here.
Yeah, I get it. And so I guess to carry on, Coronado, that was all recorded in Mexico?
Coronado was all recorded in Mexico. Just like Barrio Gente was, but I went and recorded it in the city this time. Barrio Gente, I literally recorded it all in my living room. I had the engineer come to me, spend the night, and we recorded the entire album, like 8 songs. It's only an 8-song album, but we recorded the entire album in one night. And the engineer was like, because we recorded like 4 songs. Like, I was in there working them, boys. See, that's one of them days that I could literally have a camera behind me because I don't talk about it. I don't cap about it much. I hardly ever talk about it, man. But if y'all could see all the work that I put in behind this shit, I wish I would have had a camera behind me that day so they could see how I literally ran this shit like a fucking factory. Like, I knew I only had this kid for 24 hours to record this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, man, I got dudes that I don't know if they've ever been in a studio. I don't know if they've ever had to work this kind of way. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they've ever had to consider that I can't have you in there for an hour, dog. I need, you know what I'm saying? I need you to be in there, record your verses like this. I had 8 verses on the album. I recorded mine under an hour and a half, I think. Mm-hmm. 8 verses in an hour and a half. I think 2 hours maybe at the most. But I had them in there like, all right, come on. All right, you're in there. Boom, your verse. Come on. And I remember the day we recorded like 4 songs in one night, and then the next 4 the next morning. And the next morning when we woke up, because, you know, there's like 6 of us. There's 6 artists. Yeah. So all of us were like telling the engineer, like, yeah, make sure you put my verse right. Make sure you put this in the background like this. Everybody's giving him all these different instructions. And I could just imagine his head getting all jumbled up. You know what I'm saying? And the next morning, he literally said, he's like, this isn't how you record an album, dog. I'm like, I know, bro. I'm sorry. I know most people would rather just record 1 or 2 songs, you know what I'm saying? And then take that. But, man, I was like, I can't do it like that, dog. I can't afford it. It's cheaper for me to bring you here to the city than to take all 6 of these motherfuckers and pay to get them to the city. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, Coronado, I recorded all that with Humberto Rio, Supreme Music, and Morelia, Michoacan. It's like 15 tracks. I had like about 5 songs that I've already been sitting on for years. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Sueño Americano is one of those songs. Dos Tres Caguamas is one of those songs that I already had for years sitting up, but just needed to be recorded and put out. So ended up being like 15 tracks. Cause usually I only do about 10 songs. You know what I'm saying? And
this came out, what was it, last year, right?
No, came out 2 years ago. 2 years ago 2023. But I've been working it. You know what I'm saying? I had so many songs on it that I had confidence in it. That I was like, fuck that. I'm not going to put out just a 15-track album, just promote 2 or 3 songs off of it. I'm like, man, shit, I got a bunch of songs that I know go hard off this motherfucker.
The ones that get popular, like, for example, like the one that got really popular on TikTok, is that one that you expected that you pushed?
Yeah. I can't lie, man. I can't front. I can't sit here and try to be humble and be like, nah, we didn't know. No, we knew. I mean, when people heard the song, you know what I'm saying? They heard the first, like 8 bars on the song. People like, yeah, you're saying some shit on this shit. This shit's gonna cause something. You know what I'm saying? Like and it was one of them songs that wasn't even a song like. It wasn't even that it had a catchy hook. It wasn't even that the hook was dope or it was a jingle that made you want to. It was exactly what I was saying. It was the words that I'm saying. The potency of the things that I'm saying behind it is what catches you. And that's what took off on TikTok because of what I'm saying on it.
And what on TikTok is usually it shows like Mexicanos at work actually working like
yeah. So for the people that don't know, I got a song called "The American Dream" and "Sueño Americano," and I was promoting other songs off of it because I thought I kind of wanted that old formula of you give them the candy first, then the medicine. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I knew to do songs like those Tres Caguamas first. Reel in all the drunk people in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Like, Sueño Americano is a hit song with Mexicans over here in the United States. Like you get this, right? You know this, right? Yes, it's people from Guatemala, people from El Salvador, people from Honduras, people from Mexico are fans of this song, but they're not in those countries. They're the people that are here in the United States.
Because they're working.
So Sueño Americano is a hit song here in the United States amongst Latinos here. Dos o Tres Caguamas is the hit with people in Mexico. You know what I'm saying?
Drink freely.
Yeah. People that live in Mexico can't relate to what the fuck I'm talking about coming over here to the United States, immigrating and working here. You know what I'm saying? They relate to getting fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So that's the song that's big over there. You know what I'm saying? So I had to put out songs like that first. But we just knew, bro. Like, we kind of knew Dos Tres Caguamas was going to be something, and we knew El Sueño Americano was going to be something. So we're promoting Dos Tres Caguamas. We're promoting like 2 or 3 other songs off Coronando. And they're already... I didn't have TikTok at this time. I didn't have TikTok yet, like in 2020. So my friend shows me... We had put out Rap Michoacano. Mm-hmm. My friend shows me videos of kids singing Rap Michoacano.
Really?
On TikTok. And I'm like, what is that? He's like, it's on TikTok. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, this kid's singing the song? He's like, yeah. I'm like, but how did they hear it? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, what the fuck? So he showed me the sound bank already had like about 5 videos.
Oh, shit.
So I go, make an account, and I start looking at my name. Again, I had already been promoted like 2 or 3 songs off Coronando. You know what I'm saying? Boom. The dope part about TikTok, I'm about to give y'all some free game. Well, maybe everybody already knows it because it's already a couple of years after TikTok's been out, right? But back in the day, now Instagram finally caught up, Facebook caught up. But back about 2 years back, Instagram nor Facebook showed you if somebody used your song in their story, they didn't show you a sound bank of the videos of other people using it.
Oh.
They either had to tag you or it had to be your friend, and you had to run across their story and see that they were using
TikTok,
it, right?
Just shows whoever used
but on
sound.
TikTok, if they were public, it showed a whole page where everybody who's using your... I went and opened El Sueño Americano, and it already had like 25 videos to it. And then it had like about 50 videos to it. We still hadn't even released nothing on it. And I'm like, bro. And then what was crazy, okay, of course, there's videos of everything, right? But the majority were people fucking filming themselves at work, dog. And I was like, man, what the hell is going on, man? Who started this shit?
I was gonna say,
I don't know. I don't know who started this. I can't credit nobody. I wish I could give somebody the credit. I can't credit nobody with this. I don't know who started it. I remember there was just like this video of a dude who's on a hoverboard and he's going down trimming the siding on the lawn with the weed eater, and he's like going, and they got the song on it. You know what I'm saying? To me, it seems like a video that was already a popular video for somebody else, and they just tagged the song on there. But it got famous, bro, and everybody started doing it. Everybody started filming themselves at work. So there's like 50 videos. We put out the preview, bro. I put up the preview on TikTok. I remember hit like 20,000 overnight. I remember we got like about 500, 600 followers. And then I remember the day kept going on. The day kept going on. The day kept going on. The day went to 30,000, 40,000, 50,000.
God.
First time ever I've sat there with my wife with the phone. I sat there with my wife. I said, and you could see the notifications going up in real time. I wouldn't even refresh it. I wouldn't even refresh it, bro. And they would just sit there going up. And I told my wife, I was like, look, babe. She was like, what the fuck? And hit like 60,000 with the first one. And you know what I'm saying? There was like fucking Mexicanos. And then when I remember it was getting towards in the evening, and I started seeing people argue in the comments. And that's when I started feeling like it was gonna blow. I was like, man, even if this shit doesn't blow up, like make me a superstar, this shit is still dope, bro. I was like, cause there's people on there arguing like, well, what about Cuba? Well,
Okay, I seen that.
What about Puerto Rico? It was like people like, well, what about Panama? We don't work or what? Why'd you leave us out? You know what I'm saying? And I was like, oh shit. So now people are coming after me and telling me I left out their country. I was like, now it's feeling even doper.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because like now there's a demand for that shit.
You collab with other.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is so dope, man. I remember my wife kept telling me, she was like, make a remix, name all the countries. I was like, yeah, this shit would be crazy, man. You know what I'm saying?
The potential of that one song just alone.
Yeah, man. There's so much stuff that we can still do with that song. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's a song that can actually die down. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have another one too. I have another one in pocket that's kind of, it's going to cause some shit too, man. Because there's a lot of stuff. I wanted to start making like lives on TikTok and kind of addressing like some of the racism and stuff like that. Because like, if you look in the comments on the videos that I put, because I put up multiple videos, we're sitting at like over 500,000 fucking reproductions on the song on TikTok, because I've put up multiple videos of it and like multiple ones have hit 60,000, 50,000, 70,000. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I wanted to start addressing was like the arguing between Latinos, like the pretense that there isn't racism in Latin America. You know what I'm saying? It's like, because I mean, even Mexicanos started being like, Mexicanos started telling me like, well, why did you name Hondurans and Salvadorians and Guatemalans first? They're like, if you were a real Mexican, you would have named us first. I was like, bro, it's obvious I'm Mexican, dog. It's obvious I'm talking to my people. I was like, I wanted to give some other countries recognition first. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm pretty sure nobody's ever hollered at them like that in this kind of manner, especially with this type of music. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I don't doubt that there's Honduran kids out there, Salvadorian kids that are into rap. They're into hip hop. I was like, and I don't think their cultures have ever been recognized like for being hard working. I ain't separating nobody, dog. So I wanted to talk about some of that, you know what I'm saying, and how us Mexicans also can be racist, you know what I'm saying, or like prejudice. I mean, it's not. I don't know if it's racist or not, because now they're saying that you can't be racist if you're not this.
I mean, I think a big part, and this is funny because I've been actually talking to a couple people like randomly over the last week or so. And my theory is that I don't think racism is ever going to end, because of the fact that within every single culture, until we dismiss the thought of, or even like get rid of colorism, that's where I feel like it should begin, because los más prietos son los más bajos, los más light complected son más glorified.
Mario, look, even if it weren't race, bro, us human beings have a natural way of finding conflict within each other, bro. We will find something. Yeah. Because you're from the East Coast. Because you're from the West.
Whatever little reason
you're from North Austin. Because I'm from South Austin. Whatever, bro. We'll find it.
Yeah.
Because you like sandals and I don't like sandals. Because I think people that have their toes out like that is nasty. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not really how I feel. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you an example of how dumb we are. We'll find ways not to like each other, brother.
Yeah.
So even if race wasn't there, even if the countries and the boundaries and all this were to disappear, humans will figure out a way not to like one another, dog. It's just natural in us, dog. We're animals still. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell everybody, like, look at the felines. Look at the felines. Lions don't hunt with cheetahs. A jaguar doesn't hunt with a puma. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They're the same thing. They're all felines. They all come from the feline family. Yeah. They're not hanging around each other. I tell people, man, it's it's only in these cities that people think like this, dog. It's only cities where people think progressively and people want us all to get along and to all get together. I've said this a million times. If you don't understand that that's the reason Donald Trump was able to make so many racist people rise, it's because in these small towns all over America, people don't think progressively like that. People aren't around various cultures where they feel they have to respect them and accept them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Same thing in Mexico. Mexico's the same way. Mexico have Hondurans come in. All of a sudden, they get really prejudiced against them.
They give them a hard time when they're crossing. And shit.
Guatemalans. All of a sudden, they start calling them Indians. They start saying that they're Indians, because you know what I'm saying? Guatemala is full of Mayan descendants. You know what I'm saying? So they start coming down on them real tough about that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Costa Ricans, Venezuelans that come through there. I've seen Panamanians come through there in the city, dark. I'm talking about blacker than African Americans you see here, darker than them. And my Mexican people just stare at them like, wow,
no
bro, because they've never seen that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy because, like, where I'm at in Michoacan, one state over in Guerrero has a lot of African blood in it. You know what I'm saying? Guerrero had hosted one of the first towns that had free slaves in the Americas.
Yeah, for Latinos.
In the Americas. If you remember, people were fleeing, the slaves were fleeing to Mexico.
Because there was no slavery.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, it's crazy, man. It's crazy to see, you know what I'm saying? Like, people act like they've never seen it, and it's just one state over, and if they will go over there and see that kind of stuff, but, I mean, you got to think, we're talking about a poor country. People haven't even been out of their own town.
Yeah, I just stayed in this small cycle that just accept.
I don't think it'll ever end either because, like I said, we'll find a reason not to like each other, though.
Yeah, and especially now when it seems that times only start getting even worse, and then you add like corruption on the government, you add cartel, you add the violence, you add this and that. So people just kind of stay stagnant to a certain lifestyle that is just brainwashing people to never do nothing else.
So on the new album, on Rancholo, I got the song. I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about it. I haven't told too many people about this. I got a song I'm about to put out. This is addressing a little bit of what it feels like to be a first generation Mexican Mexicano raised here in the United States, and to be around people that look just like you, that you think are just like you, and for them to treat you probably even worse than what white people and black people would treat you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's my experience. I'm sorry if people don't like it. I'm sorry if people get offended by it, but that's my experience, man. My experience was I was raised here in Austin. Unfortunately, I was raised on the south side where there wasn't that many Mexicans like that. You know what I'm saying? Those Mexicans, but there was a lot of those Mexicans were already like second, third generation. They were Chicanos, you know what I'm saying? They weren't Mexicans speaking Spanish like me. And when you spoke Spanish, they'd start looking at you funny. You know what I'm saying? I remember we hung around black kids at first in our apartment complex because the black kids didn't care. They thought it was cool we spoke Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like, they wanted to learn it. They were like having us teach them cuss words and stuff like that. They taught us cuss words in English. They taught us how to do that first. I didn't even know what sticking the finger was. I used to go up to my dad every day that he would come home from work, and I'd be like, I think my dad, like the third or fourth day, my dad went and found out what it was. My dad whooped my ass next time I did that shit to him. I was like,
where's me going?
Like 5 years old. I was like 5 or 6 years old, man. Yeah, my dad whooped the shit out of me, man. But, that's just my experience, man. Like, I want to say even people almost bullied me into hiding who I was for a little bit of my childhood. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't want them to know that I was into cumbias. I didn't want them to know that I was into Los Tigres. I didn't want them to know that I was into Bronco or Los Temerarios. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, they would come down on you about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Everybody would look down and call you a wetback all the time and say you were a wetback and shit like that. So I got a song that kind of talks about dealing with this kind of stuff growing up. You know what I'm saying? We're like, what? Like, you're supposed to be, I thought we were all the same, we were all from the same place. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I can't wait to hear that because, like, similarly, I was on the same boat. You know, first generation born, parents got here, and then I was born a year later. Didn't learn English till I was like what, third, fourth grade or whatever. Even then, I had an accent for the longest. I don't know if I still have it or not, but it was always pointed out to me my whole life, and I kind of forced myself to kind of try to just how to speak proper English because a lot of times people would just assume and just look at me and just be like, oh, like, you don't know English or you don't know how to speak well, you're just smart or whatever. But it wasn't until then I started speaking properly to them and correcting them. And one of them, they're like, well, like, you know how to, you speak white, you do this. Like, no, like, I'm just adapting, really. You know, subconsciously I'm adapting because I feel like I'm forced to neglect this side. And then it leads on to speaking broken Spanish because you start forgetting your Spanish and you start forgetting how to speak it as your first language, you know. But it is, like, I think it is a mental thing that kind of comes down eventually.
And before people, like, start assuming that I'm just, Because I don't know, a lot of people see me take a lot of Mexican pride. I champion my people a whole lot, man. A lot of people even, I've had people even try to tell me I was racist because all I talk about is Mexican stuff. I'm like, bro, it sounds like you're the one who's racist and don't like me talking about a bunch of Mexican shit. Because I ain't down in nobody else's race. Yeah. I ain't ever down in nobody. I ain't never been that kind of person that felt the need to do that kind of shit. I just champion the shit out of my people. I'm going to put horchata in your face. A lot of people didn't even know what the hell horchata was till I started putting it up all the time. A lot of even my Mexican-American friends didn't even know what the hell horchata was for the first year or two that I was putting it up on Instagram every day. You know what I'm saying? I was fucking putting my cup up all the time. They were like, what is that? What is that? They didn't even know. All right. So before people start thinking that I'm just championing behind Mexicanos, you know what I'm saying? And because of my experience that I spoke Spanish, I also don't want y'all to get it wrong. I also know what it's like to be Chicano. I know why you would probably feel like you need to identify by yourself because Mexicanos aren't going to accept you like that. I went to Mexico as a kid. They saw me as the norteño kid that was privileged, that was born in the United States. They would fuck with me for that. They would be like, oh, échale salsa, güey, échale chile, güey, cómete un jalapeño, la chingada. I got treated like that, dog. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I got treated like I was a fucking, like a sideshow, like, habla inglés. ¿A poco si hablas inglés? Habla inglés. A ver, dinos algo en inglés. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, what the fuck, motherfucking sideshow, cuz? What the hell?
And as old the line is that I hate that it's always brought up and over, it's like the fucking, like Selena's dad, like, oh, we're not, no somos aquí ni somos allá. You know, and it sucks because it's a real statement, you know?
Yeah, it's a real statement, man. That's kind of how you feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of how I still feel to this day, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you try to adapt, and you try to, like, yes, of course, we're always going to be into the cumbias, into the huacharacas that they had, like everything, like the duranguense. We went through all that, we listened through all that, but unless we dedicate our whole lifestyle to being exactly in that sense, and we can't be fluid in the sense that we're Mexican-American, but also just Mexican in general, because I've been told, like, no, you're not Mexican, you're Chicano because you were born here. It doesn't change the fact that I can speak perfect Spanish or that I know my culture, stuff like that. It's like you can't be anything. Like, you have to be something 100%. You know, even now, like if I were to step out or go to un rancho or something like that, like unless I was todo en botas and todo ranchero, like I probably would be looked at as weird. Like, what the fuck is this for? You know?
I mean, you gotta get to a certain point in life where you also just let people.
Yeah, not
people
even
have
worry
their
about
opinion, man. You call me what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know one moment I'm feeling like I'm from El Rancho and shit, and the next moment somebody can be like, well, I ain't ever seen you out there with no cows. I'm like, I was too poor. My family was too poor to even have cows. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm more rancho than you are.
Yeah.
Like, you had it pretty good if you had cows and you had horses and all that. We wouldn't even have that shit.
Yeah.
So just little stuff like that, and I let people have their opinion, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to think I'm from El Norte and I'm a norteño? That's cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, my people in my town know different. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you want to think that I'm just, that I don't know enough Mexican stuff? Let's go to El Cerro. Let's go plant some corn. Let's go plant some beans. Let's go plant some squash. Let's see if you know the process like I know it, like my grandpa taught me.
Yeah.
Let's see if you can survive and go get firewood. Let's see if you can survive and grow your stuff and know how to go get garbanzos. Let's see if you know how to be a gatherer and a hunter. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let's see if you could quarter a goat with me when we need to make birria. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I be telling people, like, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? You can think whatever you want of me, man. I'm to the point where I just like, whatever, bro.
Yeah, you just gotta not even.
You can label me whatever you want, man. Because words are so stupid. Like, I've been looking a lot into this lately. Like, it's so dumb, man. Like, we run around, all Mexicans run around thinking they're Aztecs. There were hundreds of tribes in Mexico, bro. We weren't all Aztecs. You don't think the Aztecs had any enemies? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or like, we have the last names like Garcia, Hernandez, Rodriguez, Pantoja, Corona. How are we so sure that we're indigenous?
Yeah.
All our blood could be from Spain. Yeah. All our blood could be French. There's been Spanish, there's been French rule over Mexico.
Yeah, because, I mean, at the end of the day, all a Mexican is a product of rape and murder. It's really all it is.
They raped and pillaged our people the same way. They changed our last names the same way.
Yeah.
A lot of Mexicans try to be like, oh, I'm indígena de Mexico, que fuimos aztecas, fuimos los mayas. You have a fucking beard, bro. You have a full beard. Like, indigenous people don't even hardly have any facial hair, dog. Your name wouldn't even be written in fucking alphabets that you know, the modern day alphabet that you know right now. Your name wouldn't even be written like that or said or pronounced like that.
Yeah. It's a misconcept.
Your name would be whoosh, whoosh, rush. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So what the fuck? I don't know what people argue over, dog. Like, we're just a big old mixture of everything. You know what I'm saying? So for you to try to label anybody or put names on something like, you want to call me Latino, call me Latino. You want to call me a Hispano, call me an Hispano. You want to call me a Mexican, call me a Mexican. You want to call me a Mexican American, call me a Mexican American. I just read in the thing that lets you apply for double citizenship. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're born to Mexican parents that were from Mexico,
you can go and apply.
You're considered still a Mexican citizen. You know what I'm saying? Apply for double citizenship. When you read that, it tells you the Mexican government recognizes Mexicans born to Mexican parents as foreign Mexican. So I was fucking with people. I was like, fuck that Mexican American shit. I was like, I'm a foreign Mexican, bitch. I was just born on the other side of the border. Oh, man. So yeah, just like I said, man, it just gets dumb when we sit there and try to categorize everybody. Man, you don't know what the hell is what no more to this day, man. Not to let people say what they want to say.
Yeah, man, but it's like you said, it's nature habit. It's how humans are. It's how we always will be. And you either can argue with somebody all day and never get an answer, or just fucking accept it and just keep it moving, you know? Knowing that you do frequent back and forth between Mexico and the States, do you, I don't know if it's a thing, but do you get culture shock every time you come back and forth in any way? Like, because you will stay in Mexico for months, and then you come back for a few months. And I feel like every time you come back and forth, like something's always changing over here.
I've tried to stay away from this conversation, man, because I don't want people to start feeling like I'm shitting on the United States constantly.
I'll shit on the United States all day. It's all right.
The good thing is when I get around like my white friends and black friends and Mexican friends, and they all know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this country is pretty much shit already. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I guess the culture shocks do come like situations like, let's say the example I gave you not long ago, a couple of tweets that I put out. I put out, what was it? What was it about? I put out a tweet that I said, I'd hate to die on the day that I have a shitty day, because I would hate for the people that I'm taking my shitty day out on, that are the people that are close around me, for me to die and that be the last memory of me. You know what I'm saying? That I treated them like shit that day. Because what people, and I was going to translate the tweet into Spanish. And when I tried to translate the tweet and I sat there and I thought about it, I was like, hold on. I was like, if I want people from other countries or like from Mexico to understand what I'm trying to get across here, it's like, it's not as accepted for you to have a shitty day in another country.
You kind of have to just thug it out and just keep it going.
Dog, get the fuck over it, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're having a shitty day because what? Oh, I need to smoke a cigarette. Oh, here? Oh, yeah, we understand, man. Go have a cigarette. Man, shut the fuck. Man, 50 Cent just said it in the interview. Like, depression is like a luxury, bro. Mm-hmm. And I said it too. I've always said it. You think people in Mexico, you think people in Guatemala and El Salvador are having anxiety and depression or suffering from this? I'm not saying they don't. I'm not trying to downplay mental health and all this shit, right? But it's also a thing where they start driving this shit so much into your head and start telling you that there's something wrong with you. You start believing this shit. You know what I'm saying? You'll start believing that you need to go to a therapist and all this shit. When really all you just need to do is get you a fucking hobby, dog, that'll keep your goddamn mind busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, quit just sitting at home watching the screen and watching everybody else's lives pass along and feeling so sorry for yours. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, so that's kind of the culture shock that I go through. I come from a place where people just know survival every day, dog. Where they're getting up every single day to go work. There is no retirement. There is no pensions. There is no 401k. There is no benefits. They just coming home with what they worked those 8 hours for, dog. To make their kids have food on the table, you know what I'm saying? And for them to be able to take have put a little bit away in case of an emergency, you know what I'm saying? But people are literally going out to survive every single day. So when you're in a country like that and you see people be appreciative of the smallest things, and you come here and you see everybody be so disposive of everything and be so in their feelings about shit, it's like, come on, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just kind of makes you look at it like, man, what the fuck, bro? Like, people are unappreciative of the shit that they have. You know what I'm saying? Of the opportunities, of the privilege that they have when they don't think that they're privileged. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Charleston White, man. I love the shit Charleston White is doing right now. He's going out. Rappers of these days, all day, what do? They get on, they start talking about that they came from nothing, that they didn't have anything, that they had it hard and all this shit. When really we probably come from fucking good families. You know what I'm saying? We probably had better opportunities than a lot of other people have had. But we want to play the victim role. You know what I'm saying? We want to play the victim role here in the United States. I don't know why that shit is so popular, but it's a popular thing here, dog. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Other places, you just got to suck that shit up, dog. You got to suck that shit up, go out and work.
You don't really have a choice to do anything
you know
else
what I'm saying?
But to survive.
So those are kind of the culture shocks that I go through, the kind of ones that are bothering, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To go from a place where people are so appreciative just to be able to go the next day to work. And then come to a place where I'm at work and I'm at my job and my coworkers sitting there bitching about how they're at work. Mm-hmm. And that they want to go home already. And that they hate this job and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, bro. Like, damn, dog. You imagine the people I'm around in Mexico, like, if they just be appreciative to have opportunity like this. You know what I'm saying? To go
work, yeah. So, and I get it, because I do have, like in my job, we have, like, a lot of temps, people that are like, only hired through a temp agency that are more than likely, a lot of times they're from other countries, because they come here either on a visa or not. They come to work. And a lot of times, like, when we have a shit ton of overtime, you have the people that are like, no, I'm not going to work overtime. I'm just going to work my 40 hours, blah, blah, blah. But they'd be more than happy to work every single hour that they have, because they'll go to work those 12 hours, go home to the little apartment that they're sharing with 5 other people, a 2-bedroom apartment, 5, 6 people, and make do with it, you know? Go home, take care of their stuff, do their chores, prep their food, whatever, come back, do it all over again, just ready to bust ass.
Yep.
Good mood, never pissed about anything, never really complain. When I talk to them, they just talk about like what they're doing it for, who they have back home. And one of the friends that I have, he was telling me this is his first year that he spent alone for New Year's and Christmas because his family's back home. But at the end of the day, the way you got to look at it, like he came here for that reason to work and send money and just to provide overall, you know. Yep. Whether it is that he came on a visa or whatever, you know, and a lot of the times, like, people take that for granted, because that checks me whenever I'm at work and I feel like, oh, fuck, today sucks. I had too much to drink straight, or I'm sleepy. I didn't sleep enough. But then, like, I'll work with him and it just kind of motivates me to keep going. It's like, you know what? It could be worse. It could always be better, but it could always be worse.
It's part of the reason why I like staying in Mexico, because you're around people that got more grind, got more motivation.
It pushes you.
Yeah, so it pushes you. It makes you be like, it's like kind of being in Austin and going to Houston. Like, I don't know if you ever actually stayed in Houston or have family or people or know people around Houston. Houston fucking moves, bro. Like, constantly. You know what I'm saying? Busy city. My cousin comes home from working his 8 hours. He goes to the fucking soccer fields to go sell chicharrones. He's painting soccer fields, the lines on the soccer fields Saturday mornings and shit. Constantly just doing something, dogs. Hustle town, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just got so much shit to do, and like, I feel like in Austin, everybody just works their 8 hours and goes home and chills, or goes to the park, goes to walk their dog and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not saying that everybody in Austin is like that. Don't get me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Austin is also a very fucking money city. You know what I'm saying? But it just, I don't know, man. In Mexico, you just feel people breathe life more. I guess I'm the kind of person. I'm not championing being broke. I'm not championing struggling, you know what I'm saying? But I'm the kind of person that feels like I like to struggle a little bit, because it keeps the hunger there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't like having a full plate.
I also think you like the simple things in life, like just,
of course,
you're okay with like the normalcy of just tranquilo and
that's what the last song we just put out was all about, because I wanted to explain that Viva la Vida That was so I saved that to be the last song from Coronando that we put out, because I wanted everybody to get an idea of why I've been in Mexico. Why, I mean, even if it is in Spanish and it's not in English and you can't understand it, but I'm showing you, you're seeing that I'm living a simple life. You know what I'm saying? Me just waking up, drinking my coffee in my house by myself, walking around the town. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we're showing, is the simple things. And I've shown like un lugar distinto. I've shown my town. But we showed like the nice places, you know what I'm saying? Like the arches, the plazas, the
aesthetically pleasing places.
The Plaza de Toros, yeah. But in this one, I took them in the back streets. You know what I'm saying? It's like all on the back streets. I showed you the grit and grime where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Like the houses made of rocks, the walls made of rocks and stuff like this. The people who don't have money to be able to paint their house and be able to make their houses look nice. Like, this is what we showed. You know what I'm saying? Make people... Yeah, I like the simple things in life, man. To me, I already had it. I've had women, I've had cars, I've had jewelry, I've had clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like, it got old, bro.
Yeah. And there's another thing that I wanted to talk about as far as like how you were just talking about the music videos. I immediately fell in love with the concept of you filming the music videos in your hometown and showing a different side of all. Like, you know, a lot of times people like to take their vacations, go to Mexico and go to their hometowns or whatever, but they like document like the nice cities, like the way you said in the first video. You go to the aesthetically pleasing places, the places that look cool, that people would want to take pictures for Instagram and shit like that. But you get down to the nitty gritty of it, like you're walking through the barrio, you're walking to people's homes and type of neighborhoods that some people have never seen, never experienced. Some people have never been to a small town in Mexico. Yeah. They go to the big tourist cities and they're like, oh, I'm in my home. But in reality, like, that's not really where it comes down
that's kind of where I become the villain, because I've seen a lot of people. I've watched a lot of people on, you know, we got social media for past over 10 years now. So I watch a lot of people take their vacations, go to Mexico, they go to Cabo, they go to, you know what I'm saying, to Acapulco, they go to Zihuatanejo, they go to Iztapa, these places that are beaches that everybody visits, you know what I'm saying?
They're for tourists.
They're for tourists. And if you go there, you'll see 9 times out of 10 there's a bunch of tourists and a bunch of white people there.
It's catered to white people, essentially.
Tulum, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So if somebody like me, I'm from a small town, bro. I mean, this is where I become the villain. You're not fucking going to Mexico, dog. If you're going to these bullshit ass places, you're not going to Mexico. So to me, it was just always weird to see people like going there saying that they're enjoying Mexico and all this, but they're in clubs, they're on carnival rides, they're in like these places where you would want to go, luxury places. It's like, come on, man, this shit ain't Mexico. Show the people, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all ain't even trying to talk. I get it. You're on vacation, you're not really out there. You probably don't have the same interests that I have. But me, when I go to places, I want to know people, man. I want to know the people that are from that town.
Talk to them, interact with them.
Talk to them, interact with them. Get to know what the town is about. Get to know what goes on there. What's their economy? What's the main thing that pops off in their town? You know what I'm saying? Different places in Mexico Mexico is so diverse. There's different things that everybody makes their money off of. You know what I'm saying? So what's the thing in those towns? I love going to that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? And figuring that stuff out. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show Mexico. I wanted to show the real Mexico. I wanted to show the people that are from where I come from. My uncles, what my uncles work, what their jobs are, the tortilleros. You know what I'm saying? Like El Sueño Americano, that's why everybody loves that video. We follow the old man to go get firewood all the way to the hills. We went with him. You know what I'm saying? It's funny because if you watch the video, there's a part in the video where the old man's on the ground and it looks like he fell. And people when people first saw the previews, they were like, oh, y'all some dickheads. Y'all just followed them and let that old man fall on the ground. Y'all didn't even help him up. I was like, nah, man, that's the way he fucking puts the thing on his back, you fool. I was like, I tell y'all ain't Mexican because y'all don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Or y'all ain't the kind of Mexican I am. I'm like, again. So I was like, man, I just want to show a different kind of Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what again, also let me clear that up in this interview. People out there get to see this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had this thing that I always say this. I don't want to discuss being Mexican with you thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was about to bring that.
Like, if you ain't never been shooting canicas in a small town in Mexico, I don't want to discuss Mexican with you. If you ain't never tasted horchata, I don't want to discuss Mexican with you. This was my thing, right? I started doing this. But I started doing this to separate the kind of Mexican. I'm not saying you're not Mexican. Just saying we're a different kind of Mexican. I'm the kind of Mexican I've had to drink a Coke in a fucking bag. They give it like in my small town, like for those that don't know, in Mexico, you used to have the bottle. You have to have your bottle look agua empty to be able to go turn it in because glass isn't so abundant like it is over there. You know what I'm saying? Like it is here, I mean. So you have to have this to turn it in for them to give you a full one. Same thing with sodas and everything. So back in the day, if you didn't have one and you were poor and you didn't have an empty one, what you did was you went and bought it and they'll give it to you in a bag with a straw. That's the Mexico I know, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and I think that's why I fell so much in love. I think it was Dos o Tres Caguamas that I fell in love with because when you dropped the music video, I was just, I mean, I grew up going to Mexico as a kid. Like my drunk uncles, my drunk grandpa, like, they have the kids driving and we're going to get them beer and stuff like that. We also know the how it is, los pedos, how they are out there, So whenever you put that out in the video and like you go to the little postal where they have the taqueria and stuff like that, and they're just chilling drunk as shit. I was showing my dad, I was showing my parents, because my dad, he for one has not been to Mexico since forever, just because of obvious reasons, but I was trying to show more and more people that I know like would really appreciate this. Like, look, somebody's showcasing back home what it really is like. It's not the typical
and that's a Sunday.
Commercialized.
That's a Sunday in every town in Mexico. That's what I try to tell everybody. Like, if you watch Dos Tres Caguamas is so culturally dope because I couldn't have made a video like that living over here. I could have tried. I could have just gotten a bunch of drunks with beers in their hand. I couldn't have made a video like that. I had to live in Mexico and experience a Sunday in Mexico week after week for me to know what it's like. We literally wake up in the morning. It's the only day everybody's off. In Mexico, most people work Monday through Saturday. So Sunday is the only day you're going to see all your friends. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's off in town. Sunday morning, my cousins, my friends are knocking on my door already to cut their hair and to start drinking. They already got a beer for me. I'm talking about 8, 9 in the morning. They're already giving me a beer. We'll start off drinking just kind of tranquilo. Unas caguamas banqueteras. That's the video. If you watch the video, unas caguamas banqueteras en la mañana, el primero. We're not dressed up or nothing. We're just relaxed.
Just lounging.
Then boom, around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, everybody showers up, gets dressed, comes out. Now you're dressed up. You go to a little local bar. We're at the local bar. We're at the little hood spot first, though. So we're drinking, you know what I'm saying, playing domino, playing cards and shit. Everybody's there. And towards the end of the night, the females are already dressed. They've already finished their day. They've gotten ready around 5 or 6 in the evening. They're ready to come out. Go get your female, take them to a nicer little spot. You know what I'm saying? So that's Dos Tres Caguamas, the video is basically what we did a whole Sunday in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody loves that shit.
Yeah, that's my favorite video, honestly.
Everybody loves that shit.
Y'all go check that out, but let them know where they can find you. Your social media, YouTube, whatever, TikTok.
Across all platforms, if you search Live from 78745 or you search my name, Keith Corona, you're going to find it. 9 times out of 10, I'm under Live from 78745. On Instagram, I'm Live from 78745 MX. Keith Corona, Live from 78745, LIVEFROM 78745 on everything. You know what I'm saying? 78745.com, Live from 78745.com. Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, anywhere you look me up, man, you'll find me. I'm not that hard to find. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
El Kate. Yeah, El Kate. They named me Kate, man. They named me Kate in Mexico. I was like, what the fuck, bro? My name is Keith. They were like, Kate, man, shit took a long time to get used to, bro. Cause like, all right, the people that knew me in Mexico, they know me by Kike. My mama started calling me Kiko when I was a kid. She said I cried like Kiko from El Chavo. You know what I'm saying? Because I was a crybaby. So it's Kiko, when I got older, I guess seemed too like babyish, and they changed it to Kike. So everybody called me Kike. Everybody thought my name was Enrique. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, my name ain't Enrique. So what do they call you Kike? I had to explain all this dumb shit to him, right? So I get boom, when I did the social media shit, and now Mexico has social media, they'll just read my name the way it is, Gate. And in Spanish, that's the way they were saying it. And I was like, man, what the fuck? She sounds like Kate Del Castillo, you know what I'm saying? She sounds like Katy Perry or some shit. What
Kate
the
plus
fuck?
8.
She mean Kate. And they were like, And then, man, when I started popping off with the music, it got too much for me to try to control, dog. Like, what am I gonna do? Fucking go around correcting everybody? I was like, I just started accepting it. I think even then I'd say it even now. I'm like, Kate Corona. You know what I'm saying? They're like, what the hilarious. Fuck? So yeah, I said, because how am I gonna get them? If 9 times out of 10 they're just reading it on the social media, you know what I'm saying, or reading it on YouTube, they don't know. They're not hearing nobody actually say it. You know what I'm saying?
Reading in their head.
So yeah, I had no other choice, man. Yeah, but y'all go look me up, man. I got a shitload of content, man. Shitload of videos, dope ass videos. You know what I'm saying? That I finally got a little bit of credit for, because my dumb ass used to never actually take the credit for it. You know what I'm saying? But I've directed a shitload of fucking badass videos, man. We won't be out there just in front of a camera waving our hands. You know what I'm saying? Like the rappers do. Be doing real shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to show people some kind of idea of what the song that we're putting out is.
And lastly, before we finish off, do you have any other projects that are coming up? Anything? That
we're working on our second solo album for in Spanish, Rancholo. I have for the first time ever, somebody like outside of my circle actually sent me a beat. You heard of Massive Society, right?
Who?
Massive Society out of North Austin. They've done like a couple of cumbias with Bendecido, with YMR Red, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
Jay Ortiz and them, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them, you know what I'm saying? Master Society, he's done a couple of cumbias. So he sent me this beat and he's like, I want you to jump on this song, man. I'm like, well, let me try. We ain't really like too much cumbieros like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that's like more norte, fucking Monterrey, Nuevo León and all that shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, we're really into cumbias like that, bro. But, I mean, send it. Let me see.
You have to be Celso Piña.
So, yeah. So, he sends it to me, and he didn't have nobody on it yet. I know he typically puts, like, about 3 artists on it. So, I was like, well, if he's letting me decide the way the song's going to go, you know what I'm saying? So, I wrote a hook to it, and I wrote, like, a dope-ass fucking first verse to it. And I sent it to him. But it was so different. Like, I didn't do it like no rap song. Mm-hmm. Like, it's a rap song and a cumbia song, but I did it on some shit like, okay, well, it's a cumbia. Most cumbias are celebrations, you know what I'm saying? I do my shit about life. I was like, so how am I going to mix these two things? You know what I'm saying? I was like, well, let's do a cumbia that's kind of like a motivational cumbia, like something like, even though life is getting you down, like, don't let that shit get you down, man. Like, we got to live this shit.
Turn it around.
Kind of like on some Celia Cruz shit, like, kind of like that. Yeah. So I kind of flipped it on some shit like that.
Okay, damn.
And so when I sent it to him, he's like, damn, bro. He's like, I'm going through some shit right now. He's like, and this shit's hitting home. I was like, well, what you want to do to it, man? You want to put somebody else on it? He's like, cool, I think you should just be on it. I was like, so what you want to do? You gonna give me the beat or what? He's like, yeah, man. So he gave me the beat. It's kind of like A&R the beat. I told him I'd give him like a % off of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm giving like a percentage off of it. But yeah, I got a little dope ass cumbia. I got a song. It's kind of like on some kind of corrido tumbao shit, but it's a little more rapish. You know what I'm saying? That me and this kid named Toño that you saw in Ayer video of Ayer. We're at the cemetery. Yeah. And I got the kids playing the well, that's that's an original composition, right? At the beginning of that intro. Yeah, that intro is original composition because if you watch it, we only could play like about a couple of seconds of Puño de Tierra, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I was like, okay, we're gonna do this scene where we're going to take flowers to our deceased friend. Like we can't play like Puño de Tierra or Cruz de Madera. They're gonna knock the video down. You know what I'm saying? So I had them originate a composition for that. Like it needs to be a canción ranchera, but it needs to be something original. If you listen to it, they mention 4/5 in it. Because when they wrote it, they're like, en la 4-5 como aquella vez. They talking about being in the hood. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, that shit is dope. But yeah, so after we did that, I was like, bro, why don't you like come up with something that we could take it to the studio and record you and actually make a beat out of it? And he was like, bet. So that's what he did, though. Damn. Took him to the studio. Had him drop a couple of riffs, you know what I'm saying? Added drums to it with the software and got a dope-ass beat out of it, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do that. Got a couple of traps from from Cutter Music. You know what I'm saying? Cutter Music's always been my producer. For all I know, he's barely getting around. To all of ATX and everybody else is finding out who Cutter is. Shout out to Cutter. Much props to Cutter. Much props to everybody who's working with Cutter. But Cutter been my motherfucking producer for the past 10 years, buddy.
He's fast freestyler too.
And a dope ass freestyler, man.
On the podcast and just fucking blew us up the wall. Like, God damn.
Yeah, man. Cutter is that dude. Yeah, I wish I go listen to Cutter's first album. Don't tell him I told y'all this. He's got an album. It's called Cutter Music Volume 1 on Bandcamp. Go look it up and go listen to it. Make that motherfucker rap again, because he could rap his ass off.
He really can. Yeah. Did you get a chance to peep? I can't remember. That was a little out of there too. But during Mas Cultura, did you get to peep Los Kid Brothers? Man, I want you to work with them. Like I had got introduced to them.
Man's kids. Yeah.
I got introduced to them a few years back. Like I think right after COVID, and I've been in love with their music ever since.
I ain't gonna lie, man. Like after their performance, I watched their performance, and they had me thinking a lot about making songs that actually are songs derived to interact.
And
with
they produce all their stuff from what I remember. Like they create like it's all like in house for them.
Yeah. No, what I noticed was like a lot of their songs are structured for performance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I make the mistake of doing that. I make the mistake of just writing music when I'm in the depression and shit and just sitting.
Yeah.
I don't ever think of actually being on stage and performing.
How it's gonna come out and
shit.
Shit.
Like, so I like that a lot of their songs seem like they were written for that purpose, to be performed and to have crowd participation in it. You know what I'm saying? It was great, man. They had a great performance.
That's something a lot of artists miss.
Yeah. Shout out to the Kid Brothers, man.
Yeah,
from San Antonio.
Antonio. Here in Texas for sure. I just can't remember how far they're off, but I've been wanting to get them on the show. So shout out Kid Brothers. I'll get y'all on soon. Promise.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I appreciate you coming through, bro. I know it's rare to have you in town, and we both get busy. You get busy with work, and I get busy with life. But whether this may or not be the last episode ever, I want to make sure that I was able to get you in before.
Hey, man, if this is the last episode, bro. Hey, if this is the last episode, what the fuck? What was Mario doing, dog? Why y'all let this dude just let this shit go like that, man? What the hell is wrong with him?
It's still up in the air. I can't necessarily say that it's over, but this ain't the last y'all seen of me. Just I promise.
Nah, yeah, man. Again, like whatever other ventures you take on, man, we're willing to sit there. You know what I'm saying, and support you through it, man. Whatever it is, you know what I'm saying. Just try to go a little bit. Look, I threw the microphone all the way over there, and I'm over here. You can tell I'm getting drunk now. But yeah, man, we're there to support you through it, man. You know what I'm saying. Just do it. Just pick whatever it is that you choose to do. Go strong with it, man. You know what I'm saying. Finish strong with it. You're finishing strong if you're interviewing me, motherfucker, because I'm ATX hip hop history, past, present, and future, man. You know what I'm saying? So
you don't want to talk ATX history unless you're talking to Keith Corona.
Nah, I don't want to discuss ATX hip hop history with none of you motherfuckers.
But I appreciate you coming through. Before we finish off, I do want to end on a positive note. I don't remember if we did that. I don't know if we had started that segment back
positive
then.
Note. Yeah.
You want to kick that off? Or you want me to kick it off?
It don't matter.
Go for it.
On a positive note, let's see, where was my positive note last time on this episode?
Shit, last time on I don't know. That's perfect.
I was shouting out my wife and shit by holding it down. Positive note. All right, I'm gonna give y'all a kind of a negative, but with a positive. So the negative is, man, in the past couple of years, I've had a shitload of my friends kill themselves. The positive thing I want to end on is, man, y'all gotta stop letting life get y'all down that much, man. Y'all gotta stop. This shit is so fucking depressing to me. Like, I don't know if I was just cursed in life to have a bunch of friends to take their own lives, but I've had a lot of friends take their own lives, man. This shit sucks, bro. Like, you're not the only one that suffers when you do it. You got a lot of people that's gonna suffer around you when you do it, man. You know what I'm saying? My positive note is, don't let life get you down, dog. I know it's a daily mind exercise trying not to let life get to you. This shit is tiring. I know it is. I'm a depressant myself. Even if people have never noticed it, people have never known it, I go through it every day too, man. But there's got to be something out there, man. You got to find something. I don't even believe in God, bro. I'm not even the type of person that believes in this kind of stuff. So I can't even. It's even harder for me to find something good to be around this motherfucker for. But y'all gotta be positive, man. Please be positive, bro. There's too many people out here with losing, man. Stop hanging around these stupid ass places. If you're getting older, I'm already going to my 40s, man. Stop hanging around these stupid places you're not supposed to be around. Stop doing the things that you were doing in the past. If you're getting to better, if you're leveling up, stop hanging around certain people. You don't got nothing to prove. You don't need to be in certain places no more, man. Get out of there. Level up, you know what I'm saying? And leveling up means taking care of yourself. Take care of yourself and the ones around you, man, please.
Thank you for that. Before I get on to mine, I just want to say thank you because you have always been like a big brother to me, someone that I could always like. I myself too have always dealt with that shit in my life, but you have always been somebody that I've always known that I could ever come to and just be like, you know what, like I'm kind of going through it, you know, like I need a quick like reality check because you know as you already mentioned like a few minutes ago. You're gonna tell it how it is. You're gonna take whatever it is somebody's going through and turn that shit into a motivation, which is you've always achieved.
I've always been a tough lover, man. Like I don't know people like my friends. That's another thing I just want to say real fast. If my friends come around me and y'all are in a down state or whatever, I'm not gonna be the type of person that's gonna stroke your ego, bro. I'm not gonna pamper you. I'm gonna tell you tough love, man. I come from tough love. My mama's from Tierra Caliente. If you ever figure out what women from Michoacan, from Tierra Caliente specifically, are like, they are tough, bro. They're tougher than men. So my mama, I was a mama's boy. My mama raised me like this. I told my mama one day I wanted to kill myself. She told me, go to the army. I said, what? She said, go to the army. She said, at least they'll pay for your funeral. She's like, your dumb ass just wants to kill yourself, leave me with the pain of killing yourself, and have to pay for your funeral. She felt no pity on me, bro. This is what she literally told me with a straight face. Her advice was for me to go to the army if I wanted to die. You know what I'm saying? So when people come to me, this is the kind of things I'm going to tell you. I'm going to give you tough love, man. I'm going to tell you to suck that shit up, find a reason to nut up, and go out and get shit done, bro. Because that's the way it is for me. I'm not saying that's the way it is across the world, but for Keith Corona's life and the advice you're going to get from me, that's what you're going to get.
It's all about perspective at the end of the day. But I guess for my positive note, since it's been a while, I think last time we recorded was when we were in LA, which that was fun. Shout out to our LA friends out there. I think my positive note would have to be is if you ever feel that shit creeping up, the whole depression shit, you know, find a routine, find something that a habit that not something where you're like, oh, I'm gonna just go drink every day or I'm gonna just smoke every day whenever I feel some type of way. Like go build a routine, get off of work, go for a fucking walk, go cook, go meal prep, go like it could be the littlest things that you never know that like it's like he said, you can find a hobby that keeps you going every day. You can be tired of shit, go fucking read a book till you pass out, you know, get home, take a good shower, fucking self-care like a motherfucker, you know, like I'm super pro therapy, but therapy is not always going to solve everybody's problems. You know, therapy is cool to just talk to a lot of people, but sometimes people don't need that. Sometimes people just need to get active and go find something to do, whether it is to go pick up a camera and just go take pictures. Go write a book, go write a story, go write your thoughts. It doesn't matter. Just always try every single thing before you let it go that far, because before you know it, you make excuses for yourself back to back to back, and then it's 3 months and you've been in this fucking pit and it feels like it's too late and you haven't told nobody and you're just stuck in your head. Like it gets fucking dark quick, and I trust me, I know, but always try to find an outlet or try to find something to like get your mind moving, because we don't take care of our minds, we don't take care of our mentals. Ain't nothing else that's gonna be there to help you out whenever by the time you feel like you want to reach out to somebody, you know. But also in that case, reach out to somebody. You know, you can be watching this, listening to this. You may not know who I am. I may not know who you are. Fucking send me a message. Send me a DM, right? Find me on Twitter. I'm not active on social media as I once was, but find a way. Reach out to me. I give you all the permission. Hit me up. Send me a message at 3 in the morning. I don't care. I will write back as soon as I can, and we could just randomly talk about whatever it is to distract you.
Another thing that I like to tell a lot of people too is, man, Take your time with stuff, man. Find something that'll fill your day, like your whole agenda. I mean, literally fill your day from 6 in the morning till 9 o'clock at night. You know what I'm saying, or whatever your time is. You know what I'm saying. But I always go back to primitive life. I don't think the indigenous folks were sitting around 4 or 6 hours not doing shit. You had to get up and go out and hunt and gather, bring stuff, do stuff. There was stuff you had to do almost every day. You know what I'm saying? All day. So try to find things. If it's cleaning and around the house, if it's detailing around the house, if it's an exercise, if it's a hobby, if it's something, man, find ways to fill your time. You know what I'm saying? Take your time eating. Don't rush through everything. Nowadays, we rush to do so much things just to get those 5-10 minutes to be able to go check our social media and shit. Quit doing that shit, man. Quit rushing through your food. Quit rushing through your bath. Quit rushing through brushing your teeth. Quit rushing through all this shit. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people who are in a rush in traffic, what you do with all that time that you're saving by getting home 2-3 minutes earlier? What you doing with that time?
You know, I learned that in other countries, they look at us in the States and they're like, Americans are always so in a rush. And they sit down and eat, they just want to munch that shit down.
Yeah.
They want to go somewhere, they're in a hurry. Like, we don't take the time to appreciate the moment that is now and just like
I always
appreciate
tell people who are in a rush in traffic, man, like cutting this man off and clipping that, being able to clip that red light. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dog, what you doing with all that time that you saving doing that, dog? Like you're going way out of your way to try to beat the next man there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and what are you doing when you get home? Like, you're such in a rush to get home. What are you doing when you get home? Going laying on the couch? So the fuck you doing? You putting people lives at risk just to go home and lay on the couch, dog? Like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, quit being in such a rush to do everything, man. Take your time to enjoy your food, to enjoy the taste of it, to enjoy a conversation with your friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't rush through that shit, man. For real, fill your time, man. That's what I've been on the past 2 to 3 years. It's filling my days up to where I don't have enough time to sit around and get depressed and let my mind just sit there and wonder. Cause that's where that's lo traicionero. That's the one that's gonna get you. You know what I'm saying? Your brain. Your own brain is the one that's going to fuck with you.
Yeah. But I mean, once again, I really appreciate you coming down and sitting down with me, bro. I know we have plenty more times to do this on or off
camera,
for sure.
You know, off camera.
Yeah, it's always going to happen.
Off camera, definitely.
Appreciate everybody that's always been watching.
What's on the card?
The card? You really know what's on the card?
What's on the cards?
All right, you got to take a guess.
I want to know.
It's some ATX hip-hop history.
What?
No, it's about Keith Corona.
I thought them was some frontin' ass cards.
No, I be
fronting with the cards, just holding them, trying to look cool, like on the Ricky Lake show.
No, I be writing shit in these for each.
Oh, all right. So they're notes. They're actual notes.
Yeah, actually, like reference points.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, whenever I first realized that I was gonna be doing this by myself, I was like, man, I need reference points so I don't just start like hovering, because a lot of people don't know how to talk.
Yeah, I'm a dick, and you're my homeboy, so I felt comfortable enough to call you out. He's just fronting with them cards or what? What's he doing?
There's some blank ones, but that's just to give it depth. Like I have a lot of notes.
Nice. Yeah, I feel that.
But appreciate everybody that has always followed us, has always from day one kept up with the show, that has seen us going through it all, has seen, if not one, all the episodes, listened, shared, liked, hated, loved it, whatever it may have been. Told me out in public how much you appreciate the show. Told me that you found out an artist because, I mean, like, it has always meant so much. Like, this show once pulled me out of a dark place, and it's always been that extra thing for me in life. And, again, I'm not saying this is the end of it, but just, you never know.
Hey, shout out to the 04 Lounge, too, man. You know what I'm saying? Black Pumas, we super ousting out in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Real Southside shit.
This is real Southside shit, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Straight up, ATX.
As always, I am Mario from the South Side. I'm here with...
Live from 78745, Keith Corona. Last time I fucked this up.
And I am... I don't know, that's perfect, and we're out.